So I've had the GoPro out of the car for the last week. I've been using it in the race car, so haven't really done any vlogs while I've been driving around and doing things, which is when the only time I seem to be doing them mostly. I've done a couple of written blogs, and also I've got some videos here that I'm going to try and get up tonight, but going into week 3, day 3, week 3 now. I'm struggling a little bit with regards to, I don't feel like the last week I've been as dedicated as I probably should have been. But then, in the very same breath, I think I probably couldn't have been much more dedicated. So it's a bit of a struggle for me at the moment. I made the decision from the very beginning that this 12 weeks I was going to be as dedicated as possible to achieving what I wanted to achieve. And for that first, week and a half, 2 weeks, I was. Last week I'm pretty heavily involved in a cross-country rally that we organise here in Broken Hill, and I dedicated quite a bit of time last week to 1, getting our race car ready, 2, organising the event, and 3, running as a zero car for the event, which is basically light racing. You're just in front of everyone and you open all the gates. But over that week, the days where I was floating around and getting the car ready, I ate perfectly. Probably not quite often enough. It was spread out a lot over the day, but I still did what I needed to do and didn't miss one training during this whole period, I might add, which that's one thing I am pretty happy about, because it would have been pretty easy to do. On the Sunday we got up at, on the Friday, we got up at, we're at the gym by 5:30, 6 o'clock, something along those lines, I think, can't remember. But still, trained properly. I think the big letdown for me of myself over that period was nutrition. Even though I was prepared and planned, there were periods there where on the Saturday we spent most of the day in the car. You can't really keep food with you in a race car that's bouncing around all day across the countryside, so we had a piece of fruit each, and also had pretty much kept nourished by protein bars and things like that. Drank as much water as we could, but basically, other than breakfast on those days until dinner, all we really ate was fruit and protein. So it's not as bad as it could have been, but it's not as good as it could have been either. So that's where my mind's at. I'm in two minds about that, whether I maybe could have done better or maybe could have done worse. But as the dust has settled on the weekend, I'm pretty happy with where I ended up. For the week leading up, I was sort of hovering around that 94 kilo mark, and I had been for a week, which was starting to get me down a bit. I was still seeing changes in my body, which all good changes. So that wasn't too bad, but that weight factor was really starting to play on my mind a bit. But as it goes, I weighed myself yesterday, and I was down to 93.1 kilos, and today 92.9, 92.8. So maybe that weekend of, I guess it was almost intermittently fasting, wasn't a very big food intake at times. That week's may have have done me good. It's probably was definitely helped break that bit of a plateau that I was having. And today's cook-up day, so this week's food prep, we've changed it a little bit, taken a little bit out. So we've dropped, I think, 1 serve of rice and 2 serves of oats over the entire week, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's nearly 1,000 calories. You know, as an average over the week, that's still quite a bit. So we'll just see how that goes. Hopefully this week I'm hoping for a 1.3, 1.4 kilo loss. Go back to night shift tomorrow night, which I'm not overly happy about, but I've got to get back to work sooner or later. And the one positive side of that is during that week of night shift, my nutrition and training are spot on, and even really well timed, and general day-to-day life doesn't really get in the way of everything else. So I train every afternoon before work, and the timing for my nutrition is generally spot on. I start the day with oats at about 5:30 in the afternoon, and then pretty much from then I eat every 3 hours until it's time for bed in the morning. So yeah, that's a good side. So hopefully getting back into this this role of efficient days, one after the other, body will start to settle into that really quick-paced fat burning stage again, and yeah, we'll be all good. We'll be back on track to hit, or not that I've gone off track, I guess, but I'll be on track to hit that low 80 kilo mark by the end of the challenge, which was my goal to start with, because that should see me down around that 10% body fat mark, which will be great. So yeah, take it easy everyone. I'll upload a few videos tonight, so there'll be a fair bit of watching to do for people, and yeah, we'll hopefully everyone else is going just as good as I feel at the moment. Thanks guys.